everyone, we are back with the part 2 of the October Shop My Stash video. So you guys know we tried something a little bit different this month. So at the beginning of the month I did part 1, and that was the shopping portion of the video. I think a lot of you guys actually really enjoyed kind of seeing the process of like why I was picking what items and, you know, just kind of the whole shopping process. So now we are back with part 2 for October, and this is where I share with you guys all my thoughts on all the products that I used throughout the month. So as always, I'm gonna go through all of the items and kind of share my thoughts about them, and I did try to film a few little clips throughout the month of me like applying the makeup items. I do have to say I didn't do the best job at that, so not all the items will have like application clips, but I will be throwing those in here or there, but don't be alarmed if I didn't show everything on camera. Surprisingly, it was a lot more time consuming than I would have even imagined, just because I don't really have a lot of time when I'm getting ready in the morning to like sit down and film stuff. I just kind of like got to get out the door and go, and I really only have like one day a week that I really film videos, so please forgive me. I will try to do better next month. Alright, so let's just go ahead and get on into the first week of October. This one was the little sneak peek for all the items that I used. So starting off, for the primer product that I was using, this was the Peripera Ink Skin Tint Peach Tone Up. Overall, I don't really care for this one. It kind of gives like a little bit of like a brightening peachy effect to the skin, so I'm really just kind of like using this to use it up, but it's definitely not a product I would repurchase. It has a very like thin, watery kind of texture to it, so I wasn't really a big fan of this one. I just feel like it didn't really do much for me other than like the brightening kind of effect, but I didn't think it was that necessary for me. Then for my foundations, I had 2 of these little samples. These are the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. One of them I pretty much used up completely. I was like scraping it, trying to like get it all out, so I think for pretty much all intents and purposes I have pretty much used at least this one up. I think I probably could get away with like maybe 1 or 2 more uses out of this one, so I realized I'm tired of having just like a whole bunch of things. I'd rather just have like a few things that I really enjoy, so that is why I have been focusing so much on using up little things in my collection lately, because I know I'll go through them quicker and get them done and out of the way. Then for my concealer, this is the teeny tiny little concealer from the SEM. It's called the Cover Perfection Tip Concealer, and overall, I mean, this one is kind of surprising at just like how much product's in there, even though it's like microscopically tiny. The only thing is it is very hard to get all the product out of here because of the packaging, so it is one of those things where it's like I can use it, but I can't get every last bit out of it. But overall, it got the job done. It wasn't anything like that spectacular, and I just feel like the more makeup I have, like the less I can really tell whether I like things or not, so I'm really just like focusing on trying to use up things. Next up, for my powder, I believe this was one of the like mystery powders that I like repackaged into this Becca container, but I don't think it actually is this powder anymore. I can't remember. I have done that so many times, so either way, this was the powder that I used. It got the job done. I am not very picky when it comes to powders really ever, so that is another thing. Like I've amassed a huge collection of powders, so, and they last forever, so I'm definitely working my way through, but overall, yeah, this one was just, it worked fine. It was great. Nothing wrong with it. Then for my contour bronzy kind of product, once again, I still have not finished this up. This was the Peripera Nose Up Shading Cream Concealer Contour. It was a nose contour, I think. And I had used it like a week last month, and then I thought I had just a little bit left, so I was gonna carry it over. I think I'm gonna have to carry it over to another week because there is still product in here that I have not used up completely, and I am just dying to use it up. Overall, it does a really good job. I wish the little sponge was still on there because it was very easy to just like apply to the skin, but we are working on it. We are working on it. Then for my blush, you guys know that I picked the same like product for all of the weeks for October, but they're all just different colors, and this was the Focallure Cheek to Cheek Liquid Blush. This one was in the color Baby Doll. Overall, I have to say I really enjoyed this formula. I thought it was really good cream blush. It worked really well. This one, though, I did have to apply a little bit more of it because the color is a lot lighter and not as like crazy pigmented, so this one I could like really build up a lot and not worry about having too much on my cheeks, but the other ones I will say were a lot more pigmented, so I definitely had to do like one little dot and kind of really blend it out. But this one you could definitely get away with if you're a little bit lighter. You can kind of go a little bit more heavier with it and not have to worry about it blending all over your face. And then for the highlighter, another Focallure product. This one they call the, I think they call it the Light to Light highlighter. This one was in the color Yes to Heaven. It was kind of like this white with like these shimmery, like glittery kind of particles. I'm not typically a big fan of like glittery kind of things on my face, especially like in my highlighters. It was like super like fine, but you can still see the little like glitter flecks to it. So that wasn't my favorite. I would have liked if it was just like the cream base of it, but not have the shimmer sparkles in it. I mean, it is pretty, but it's noticeable on the skin. So that was the only complaint I had about that, is I wish that the sparkles were a little bit more subtle. Then for my brows, I am using again the BH Cosmetics brow pomade in the color Blonde. This is one of those things I've had for so long and it's still going. I'm determined to use this up though. It is like the perfect like shade for my hair color though, so I do really enjoy it. It's just one of those things like I've had to like, I add oil to it, rehydrate it whenever it kind of starts to get a little on the dry side, but I have definitely been working on this for many years, but I really like this one. It is a really good color. Then for my eyeshadow primer, I used the Urban Decay Primer Potion. This one, it just has a little bit of like a champagne-y kind of satiny shine to it. Overall, it's not that noticeable on the eyelid if you're putting shadow on top of it, but you guys know I've done this one a million times. I am starting to make a little bit of a dent to it, but it is surprising how long these last. For my eyeshadow palette, you guys know that I chose the Rem Beauty Wicked palette, and I did just get the new Wicked palette for the Wicked for Good collection, so I do have a video on that one coming up very soon. But this is what the palette looks like. Overall, I really enjoyed using this one, and I loved like playing with the colors. I didn't really get to capture too many of my looks with this one, unfortunately, but I do really enjoy this formula, and I just love the whimsy of the colors in here, and it was a very pretty palette. The only thing is it's so large, it was a little bulky, and it was a little bit hard whenever I would like travel like on the weekends with it and stuff, so it was a little bit hard that way. And then with that, I use this cream eyeshadow one day. This one is from Capuvini, I guess. I can't remember. I think I got this from Yes Style, but it's like a dual-ended cream shadow, and there's like this powder blue on one side, and I did a look with it using that one as the base. And then I did a really pretty look with like this little shimmery blue kind of color here, the section here, and it was just so pretty. I did not end up using the sparkly glitter side at all though, so unfortunately that one didn't get used. I just didn't really have the need for glitter, you know, on a random Tuesday at work. Then for my liner, I used the AOA Studio Wonder Liner. This one, I mean, it's just like a black liquid liner. It got the job done. It's definitely not my favorite, and I definitely prefer like the pen liners these days, but I am still working on trying to use up things and not let them go bad. And then for my mascara, I used, for most of all the other weeks, I did the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. I do think I am going to be finally done with this one because it has gotten just so thick and cakey and goopy. It just kind of feels like clay or mud that just like sticks all my lashes together. So I do think I am going to finally call it quits on this one, and I didn't necessarily love this mascara, but I was kind of like suffering through it because I opened it and I wanted to use it, but definitely not one I would buy again. Then for my lip combo, I once again used the Wonka lip liner. This one was in the color Cookies and Milk. Then I paired that with this Anastasia Beverly Hills lipstick in the color Peach Bud. This one's really pretty. It's just kind of like a slightly peachier kind of color. Kind of like what I'm wearing today, but a little bit more peachy. Really love this formula. It's a really nice, comfortable lipstick. And then I topped it off with the She Glam Ember Rose lip gloss in the color Amour. These are just so comfortable, and I thought the color of this one worked pretty well. It was slightly darker, but I just kind of like applied it a little more sheerly, and it worked really well. And finally, for my setting spray, I used the Beauty Creations Barbie Malibu Way Hydrating Face Mist. So it's technically not like a setting spray, but it always feels so good. Let me apply some right now. Oh, I just love it so much. It's so fine. It's like one of those aerosol ones. I have to say, now that I've like tried an aerosol like setting spray or face mist, they are so much better than just like the regular pump sprays. So this one, really great. And I really love like the fresh like cucumber aloe-y kind of smell. It's just so fresh and so lovely. All right, so moving on to week 2. Here's a little sneak peek of this one. Once again, I chose a lot of big palettes this time. So for my primer, this was the Clean Color Bedazzled Serum Primer. This one I got so close to using up. I think I'm going to have to carry this one over to November because I am so ready to use it up. And yeah, I think this is probably like 2 or 3 uses left. I'm so ready to call it done. I have to admit, I don't really like this primer. It feels really good on the skin, like it feels nice, but I noticed it makes my foundation peel underneath, like it pills up, and I do not like that. So I do want to like use it up and call it done, but definitely nothing I would ever buy again. Then for my foundation, I use the Neutrogena Visibly Firm Moisture Makeup. This one was actually a really good color match for me. Don't know if I see the color name on here. Blushing Ivory, number 30. It was actually a really, really good color for me. So sometimes I find like drugstore foundations just go too yellow, but this one actually had a really nice kind of like pinky, neutrally kind of undertone to it, which worked really, really well. And I did actually really like the coverage of this one. It's really nice, like buildable coverage, and it looked really good on my skin. Sometimes I find like foundations will like, you can see it on the skin, but this was definitely one that I felt like it really like sank in and just kind of looked like skin. Then for my concealer, once again, I used the Revolution Conceal and Define in the color C1. This one's definitely way too light for me, so I definitely tried to kind of apply it a little more sparingly. I just kind of went way too light on this one, and it's definitely noticeable, but it is good for brightening. But I don't really like the smell of this one. It kind of has like a really strong like paint smell, which I'm not into. Then for my powder, this one is from the brand Beauty Credit. This one is a Korean brand. This one is called the Lovely Two-Way Cake Matte in number 21 Nude Beige. This one is so yellow on me. It's kind of like to the point where I applied it one day and I kind of usually just do it under my eyes with like this little puff here, and it kind of like, I just applied too much and it looked very yellow under my eyes. So I'm still trying to use this one up. I'm actually getting really, really close to hitting pan on it. So even though it's not like the perfect color, I think it works better if I apply this all over my face with like a big fluffy brush rather than like something like a little sponge like this, because it does really make it noticeable when I pack it on there. But sometimes it's really nice to have a pressed powder rather than a loose powder. So that is one thing I really do like about this one. For my bronzer, once again, I chose the Revolution Chocolate Heart Bronzer. This one I really, really like. It has that like satiny kind of shimmery veining through it, which I think is really pretty, but this one's so like pigmented. Like it really does show up a lot, and it does give you more of like a glowy kind of bronze, but I do really enjoy this one a lot. So it was always fun to break this one out again. It's another one that I feel like it would take forever to actually like hit pan on this. For my blush, once again, like I said, we used the Focallure blushes. This one was called Wild One. This one's definitely more of like a corally orange, and I liked it, but I don't know, there was something about it that was almost a little bit too orange, so I definitely had to apply this one with a little bit of a lighter hand to kind of get a little more subtle look, but I did really like this color. I just don't know if this is like a everyday kind of color for me, but it was very pretty. And for the highlighter, again, another one of the Focallure ones. This one was called Desire Oxygen. This one I liked so much more. It's a little bit more of like a coppery kind of one. It almost looks like it would be too dark for me, but since it's a little more closer to like my skin tone, it just kind of gave a really pretty like subtle kind of highlighting, and I really liked that a lot more than the glittery one. So this one was definitely my favorite between the two. Then for my powder, I had a baby one of the Becca Hydra Mist Set and Refresh powder. This one I actually used up. I am so glad. So that one is going to my empties for the end of the year. So I was very glad I finally finished that one up. But I really like the packaging of this one. I think I'm gonna keep it and depot some of my other powders in here, because the size of it was really perfect for like traveling and things like that, and sometimes you don't need like this giant powder container, so I definitely will keep the container. For my brows, once again, I am using the old as old e.l.f. eyebrow kit. This one was in the color Blonde. This is another one where I've kind of had to like revive it a few times with like some oil to like kind of make it more hydrated again. I never use this powder though. It's too like, it's almost like ashy colored on me, so I don't really enjoy that, but I have started to hit pan here, so maybe one day in the next like year or two I'll finally finish this one up as far as the gel side goes. For my eyeshadow primer, I used the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, the little mini one. There's still a lot in here. I think I've only used about maybe a little bit more than half, so this one is still holding on. Then for my eyeshadow palette, this one was the Iconic London Day to Slay eyeshadow palette. This one I actually really enjoyed. It has a lot more kind of like warm neutrally kind of colors, but it's not like crazy warm. Like, it's still pretty wearable. I definitely enjoyed using this palette a lot. The only thing is it's just so massive. I just don't really reach for this one a whole lot, but the colors worked really well and they blended easily, so I just like dug my finger into that shadow. Oh my god. Gosh, I hate when I do that. But I really enjoyed this palette. It's just like a really great, like, you know, everyday kind of palette you can't go wrong with. Then for my little bonus eyeshadows, I used the Ciate London Eye Luster Cream Shadow in the color... Nope, the color's not on here. This one is a gorgeous color. I like using it on the inner corner, but I did end up putting some of this on my lid on top of one of the shadows that I used from this palette. And unfortunately, it like did not hold up very well at all. I think I might have a clip of this one, but like it cracked on the inner portion and like crumbled off, and it was like not good. So I think I would either just use this on its own next time or only use it as an inner corner kind of like highlight kind of color. But I did not like this on the lid, unfortunately. It's like a really pretty like champagne yellowy gold kind of color, and it just looks gorgeous, but it did not hold up well. And then the next one that I used, this one was the Holika Magic Inside eyeshadow. This one's in the color, I think it's number 2. This one's kind of like a copper sparkle one, and there's something really amazing about this formula because I have had this one for a long time and it's still going strong. It's like not dried out or crumbly or anything. That's kind of like the risk you take with these like glitter shadows, because some of them will dry up really quickly and some will like last forever. So this is definitely a good one though. Then for my liner, I used the LA Colors liquid liner. This is another one that's like not my favorite, but I can get the job done with it. So another one that I have just been using to use but would never repurchase. Like I said, I prefer the brush pen one, so definitely not my favorite, but I'll continue to use it until I can't anymore. Then for my lip combo, I used the Misto Beauty lip liner in the color Beloved. I really enjoyed this one. I think I got that from a subscription box. With that, I used the Revlon Super Lustrous lipstick in the color Sassy Mauve. This one was a little bit darker than what I typically go for, so I would kind of apply it a little bit lighter of a hand, so I didn't have like a super deep lip. But I love this formula, and these are like a classic for a reason. They're just so good. And then I topped that with another one of the Matrix lip glosses. This one is called Telekinesis. This one has a little bit more of like a peachy or pink, so since it was a little bit lighter, it would kind of like make the lip color not look too intense. And then finally I finished it off with the AOA Flawless Primer Spray. Yes, they say it's a primer spray, but I would use it as a primer and as a setting spray, but I hate the mist on this one. It is like hitting yourself in the face with like a Windex sprayer, so I don't love that. I kind of think I would like to depot this into a different sprayer when I get one that is like usable, but right now that is what I'm stuck with. And once again, moving on to week 3, here is the sneak peek. I guess it's not really a sneak peek because you guys have already seen all these products. So for my primer, this one is a mini of the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This one honestly probably has about maybe 2 or 3 uses left in this one, so I'm definitely going to carry this one over for next month because we have got to get these things used up. So this one's definitely going to get used up soon, but I really love this one. It's a really good sticky one. I usually use this more in the summertime, but we're so close to finishing it up, we're gonna carry it over. For my foundation, I used the CoverGirl Clean Matte. This is another one that's like so close to being used up. I could probably get maybe like 1 or 2 more uses out of this if I really scrape the inside of it, but it was another one that's like an oldie kind of foundation, but it actually looked really good, and the color was good too. This one was 520 Creamy Natural, and this one was the Clean Matte. It's another one that I really liked how it looked on my skin, and it didn't like look that cakey on the skin. It just kind of looked really natural, so I did enjoy that one. Then for my concealer, we used the Maybelline Erase Instant Age Rewind concealer. This one is another one I got way too light of a color, like it's just way too light, and I wish this one had a little bit more coverage, but another one that I am working my way through. It's still, you know, I'm like over halfway through, but it's still one of those things that's gonna last forever. So I don't know if I would get this again though, but I did, yeah, I don't think I would get this one again even when I finish it up. Like if I had like the right color, I still don't think this is one that I really enjoy that much, but we're gonna keep using it. And then for my powder, I have a mini of the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. This is like one of those ones that have a cult following, but I'm not sure why, because when I use this one, like it just seems like any other setting powder for me. It does seem slightly on the yellow side too, so it's not my favorite, but we're gonna use it. And I honestly don't really like the little, it's kind of got like the old school little holes in here where I feel like you just cannot get much product out of here, so not my favorite. Then for my contour, we have the KVD Gel Sculpt Contour. This one's Cool Fair. This one I do really like, but it does come off a lot sheerer than you would expect just like from looking at it. So you do kind of have to build this one up a little bit, but I like it. It's okay. For the blush, we have another Focallure color. This one is called Feeling Good. This one is a little bit more of like a cool tone dusty pink. I really like this one the most because I like the tone of it, and it had a little bit more pigmentation than that first one. That one was just so light. This one just had a little bit more depth to it, which I really enjoyed. Then for my highlighter, this is one where like I liked it from the packaging from the beginning, but now I hate the packaging because it's just so awkward. This was the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighter, and this one was in the color Crystal High. This one, I love the formula of it though. It's kind of like that cream, but not really a cream. It's kind of like a dry cream blush almost, kind of like that Super Shock formula, but this one just applies really well, and I really like the color tone of it. It's kind of like that vanilla pinky kind of highlighter. I feel like it just looks really nice on my skin, and the shimmer is not too over the top on this one. It does have like little micro shimmers, but it's way more subtle. I don't know why I'm showing you this, you can't see from this angle, but it's way more subtle than the liquid highlighter from Focallure that I was talking about. So if I'm gonna have shimmer or sparkles or glitter particles like in the highlighter, I want it to be like that, where it's very fine. All right, for the brows, we have the, I think it was Misha. Yeah, Misha Melting Brow Powder. This one, I love the formula, but I hate the color. It's just so warm, like it's orange. Like if you have been watching any of my videos and I have like orange brows through the week, it's probably this product, but I love the formula of it. It's like a powder that when it touches your skin, it turns to a liquid, so it's so cool. I just wish I had like the right color of this one. For my eyeshadow primer, we have the Etude House Proof 10 eyeshadow primer. I hate this one, but it's finally to the point to where I had to take the stopper out of it to like get to the product, because the shape of it is like kind of like that genie bottle shape where you can't get to the product very easily. So now that I've taken the stopper out, it is a little bit easier to get to, but I'm also worried it's going to start drying out sooner now. So I do want to kind of like try to make an effort to use that one, but I would definitely never buy that one again. For my eyeshadow palette, I had the Morphe Artistry palette. This one was called Makin' Bank. This one, I didn't get to use it nearly as much as I wanted to, but I did do a few like really cute looks with like that color and like the blue, and I did like a gold look one day. Overall, I really like the quality of like the Morphe shadows. I just feel like they're really pigmented and they're easy to use. They're really inexpensive too, so I always really enjoy using these palettes. I just wish I would have gotten to play around with it a little bit more. I kind of had a week where I didn't get to wear a whole lot of makeup. And then unfortunately, I didn't end up using this one at all. This was the Revlon Photo Ready Eye Art kind of duo. I didn't end up using the green shadow at all, but I did use this one day, and it turned out so pretty. This is the e.l.f. Duochrome Liquid Shadow in the color Cyber Pink. I really liked how this one looked. It was another one of those situations where I kind of like applied it on top of like a shadow, and it just gave this like really magical kind of iridescent look, so I definitely liked that one. Then for my liner, this is the one I really hate. This is the Bella Pierre one. I say this every time, but I always say like I want to retire this one because I hate it so much. Not because it applies bad. I mean, I hate the brush. It's really stiff. It's just kind of like one of those felt tip stiff brushes, and I don't like that. But the problem is when you remove it, it's one of those eyeliners that it doesn't like just dissolve away. Like it turns into like these little stringy bits all over your face, like if you're using a makeup wipe, and it's so annoying. So I know I threaten to like get rid of this every time, but I always feel bad about like wasting products that like could be used, but it's definitely one of those ones that is very like frustrating. Then for my lip combo, we did another one of the Chic Glam ones. This is the Marilyn lip liner in the color So Are Regrets. Love this one. We have used it several times. Then I did the e.l.f. lipstick. This one is called Dirty Talk. This one I really like. It's just like that really perfect kind of like My Lips But Better kind of color, and I loved that one a lot. And then once again, I did another one of the Chic Glam Amber Rose lip glosses on top. This one is called Treasure. This one was like almost more of like a glossy reddish kind of one, so I definitely would just do like a little dot of it just to kind of give a little gloss to the lips. Otherwise it was just way too like red for the look. It was definitely something I had to do sparingly. And finally for the setting spray, this one was the Revolution Chocolate Milk. This one I'm getting down to about this far, so I don't really have any strong thoughts on this one. It doesn't really smell that much like chocolate to me, and I will be so excited when I finally get to use this one up, but I think I might have to like repurpose the bottle for one of those other setting sprays that I really hate the sprayer of. This one at least has a decent sprayer, so it does have that going for it. All right, and finally for the last week of October. So for my primer, I have the NYX Pore Filler Primer. This was one of the mini ones, and I'm so happy to say we finished this one up today. So that is great because I was really going to be frustrated if I had to carry this one over for another month. This one is just one of those like pore filling ones. It did the job, but I've realized at this point I really don't care for pore filling primers under my foundations because they do tend to kind of do that pilly thing that I don't like. However, I do like wearing these on days I'm not going to wear makeup, and I just like want my skin to look a little bit more perfected, but like don't want to put something on. These are actually really good for that. But I will not be purchasing this again, but I'm so glad I used it up. For my foundation, this was another like old foundation that I've had. This one is the Almay Line Smoothing Makeup. This one's in the color Buff. This one is actually an okay color. I think it's slightly more yellow than the other ones that I liked, but it did get the job done. But there is a lot left in here, so unfortunately I'm not anywhere close to finishing this one up. Then for my concealer, I use the Believe Beauty Concealer in the color Ivory. I really like the color of this one. It has like that slightly pinky kind of tone to it, which works really well for my skin. It's just kind of like a light coverage concealer, but I do really enjoy that one. And then for my powder, I use the e.l.f. setting powder in the color Soft Luminance. The only thing I hate about this one is like the little, it has like the little lid in here that you like twist back and forth to like keep it from spilling out, but it still spills out. So it does make a little bit of a mess. Then for my contour, I use the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. This one, I like the formula. I hate the packaging because it's so like small. I can't really get a brush in there, and I don't like dipping my finger in there. So I just wish it was in more of like a wider, shallower type of packaging because I just don't like how deep it is and like sticking my fingers in there. I don't like touching the makeup when I don't have to. Color wise though, it was a really good color tone. It has that nice kind of cool tone, grayish kind of color that really like mimics a natural shadow for like their skin. So I do like it for that, but it does have a little bit of more of a sheer kind of texture to it. It's kind of like a, like I said, it's a putty bronzer. It kind of has a little bit more of that, kind of like a velvety kind of texture, if that makes sense. Once again, for my blush, the Focallure one, this one is in the color Stay High. This one's really pretty because it has a slight like sheen to it. So it's kind of like a warm pink with a little bit of like an orangey peach kind of sheen to it. So I did quite like this one. Then for my highlighter, this one, I forgot how much I like this one. I think I got this like in a BoxyCharm or something. This one is the Steve Laurent Jelly highlighter in the color Cotton Candy. This one's really pretty. I love these kinds of tones on my skin tone. They just work so well. And this one has like that Super Shock shadow kind of like texture, like it's like putty, like it feels wet, like it feels like a cream, but it's like not really, but then it kind of like feels like it turns into a powder. Either way, I really enjoyed this one and I can't wait to use it again. For my brows, I use the Clean Color Brow Brilliant Brow Gel Cream. This one, it's started to dry up a bit, and this one is a little bit on the dark side for me, but it is starting to dry up. So I did kind of like use a little drop of like oil to kind of like rehydrate it. So I don't know how much longer this one's going to last. But I mean, with the amount of product in here and how like sparingly I use it, it would take forever for me to use up that product. For my eyeshadow primer, once again, we're back to the V Cosmetics eyeshadow primer. I don't really care for this one, but we're gonna use it up. For my eyeshadow, I used the Barbarella palette from B Beauty London. This one I got in a BoxyCharm. I'm not a big fan of this palette after all. Number one, I feel like there's a lot of repetitive colors in here. And number two, there weren't enough mattes that I would typically like to see. Like there was a dark, warm matte, there's like this camel color, and then there's like this black color here. And then there's this crazy like blue, which I didn't use at all. And then there's like a cream down here. I wish I would have had another matte brown that's like in between these two colors. And the thing that I didn't like is I felt like the matte shadows were very like hard. Like they didn't like blend very well. Like I could get the job done with it, but I just didn't enjoy using this palette too much. But the shimmers were quite nice, but they are like kind of similar. Like all of these down here, they all just are slightly different. So overall, this wasn't my favorite palette, but I wouldn't get rid of it or anything, but I don't know, it's just not one I'm like dying to use again. And then for my special shadows, I have the e.l.f. liquid shadow in the color Big Dipper. This one's a really pretty, kind of another one of those like orangey coppery ones. Love that one. This one unfortunately started to kind of dry up a little bit. I tried using it one day and it just kind of crumbled. This one was the Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow, and this one's called Smoky Storm. This is such a pretty color though. This is like an everyday kind of color for me. It's so pretty. I think I might see if I like hang on to this one and mix it with like that Duraline product or something to kind of bring it back to life, because I really love this one. So if I can save it, I will, but this one might be kind of on its last leg. Speaking of product on its last leg, this is another SheGlam eyeliner. This one is the Wing It Waterproof Liner Duo. I never use the winged side just because I don't really enjoy the stamp part of it. But I do feel like the regular side is starting to dry up. It's just like not as dark as it used to be, and I think it's kind of on its way out, unfortunately, but I did like it. It was okay, but definitely not one I would buy again. And then I have a new product, well, not a new product, but a new to me again product that I repurchased, and this is the Essence Lash Princess Primer, and I really love this one. I started using this one earlier this year, probably like around the springtime, and I just love how it kind of like pre-separates out my lashes, and I was so glad to get this one back. So I did repurchase this one. I really enjoy it a lot. I also did prank my boyfriend one day. I was putting on my makeup and I put the lash primer on, and it turns your lashes like white or like a minty white kind of color. And I asked my boyfriend, I was like, hey, I'm kind of doing something different with my mascara today. What do you think about it? And mind you, I looked crazy. I looked like Jack Frost or something with like white lashes. And bless his heart, he was like, yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Like, did you mean to like put it on that thick though? It looks a little thick. And I'm like, yeah, this is kind of the look I'm going for. And I was kind of like playing it on to see like if he was gonna tell me I looked ridiculous or not. And he was so sweet, and he was like, yeah, it looks okay, yeah. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You were gonna let me leave the house like that? And when I told him it was a joke and stuff, he was laughing, but he was like, I don't know, I just thought that was the look you were going for. So I thought that was really funny, kind of like yanking his chain a bit. And then since I was done with the Tower 28 mascara, I did open a new one. This one is the Floss Rise Above mascara. I think I got this from like, it might have been FabFitFun box from last year. Unfortunately, I don't like this mascara, so I'm still going to kind of struggle through with this one. But what I don't like about it is that it makes my lashes like dry and crunchy. Like it makes them feel stiff, and I really don't like that with mascaras, and I find it to be a little bit hard to remove too. So I'm not a big fan of this one, but I'm gonna try to like use it as long as I can and get as much use out of it. But I'm really bummed that like I opened this one, didn't like it, and I've been using it for months, and then I opened this one and I don't like it, and I'm gonna use it for a few months. I feel like I just kind of can't catch a break lately with these mascaras, but it does do a really good job at like separating and lengthening, but I don't feel like it really gives me like volume or thickness, so we'll just see how long this one lasts. For my lip combo, we have the NYX lip liner in the color Pale Pink. This one really is true to its name. I feel like it almost doesn't show up on my lips very well, so it's not my favorite color, but it did work well with the lipstick that I chose, and this one was the SheGlam Ember Rose lipstick in the color Cherish You. This one does have a little bit more of like a mauve brown kind of color. It's what I'm wearing right now, and I've kind of been like experimenting with like trying to go with a little bit darker lips than what I typically go for, so I'm still trying to like get used to it. But then I topped it with the SheGlam Matrix lip gloss in the color Phase Shift. This one is a little bit more of like that mauvier kind of pink, so this one worked out really well. And let's do a little bit more. It's just such a comfortable lip gloss. Alright, and finally we are down to the last product. This was the mystery setting spray that I put into this bottle, but it was the worst mistake ever. This one, just like, I don't know what, the setting spray is too thick for it, because like every time I spray it, the little like sprayer won't come back up, so I have to like pull it up, pull it up, pull it up every spray, and it's so annoying. So one day I will finish this one up, but unfortunately, I do not remember which setting spray I put in here. Alright guys, so that is it for all of my thoughts on all of the products that I have used throughout October. I do think I'm going to be doing another shopping portion for November coming out in just a few days, so definitely check out that video if you guys want to see what products I'm going to be using for the month of November. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on social media. Links are below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.